Hello and welcome to the Moms Who Know podcast. I'm your host, Chanel Nielsen, and I'm joined today by Jennifer Mazzoni. Jennifer, thank you so much for being on the call.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk to you. This is actually our second time talking. We had some technological issues, so Jennifer was gracious enough to be on the call again. And it's a topic that I am really excited about and really feel that it can help moms. So let me tell everyone a little bit about Jennifer. So Jennifer Mazzoni is a full-time mom, a part-time speech language pathologist, and she is a blogger. She created the blog Help Mama Meditate to provide meditation and mindfulness advice to moms. And she herself has been meditating for the last 10 years. But after her second daughter was born, she says she got more serious about meditation. So to start off with, will you just tell us a little more about you and just fill us in about your family, your blog, and really what got you interested in meditation?
I'd be delighted to tell you about my family. I have a wonderful husband named Chris who's super supportive of my new endeavor as a blogger, and he reads it every week, which I'm thankful for. And we have two beautiful daughters. One is 2.5, and my other daughter is 9 months old. And we also have a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel, who rounds out the mix, and he is our little buddy and good with the kids. So he's a nice part of our family. And as you were saying, when our second daughter was born, it inspired me to start a daily meditation practice because I felt like I needed something in my life that would help me reflect, give me some balance. I was feeling the stress of becoming a mom of 2 instead of just a mom of 1, and trying to put all the pieces together, and it just felt right. I had always meditated in the past during times of stress, so I thought that this would be a great thing for my life, and it has been wonderful. It has ups and downs. It's not perfect, but it really gives me that time to reflect and take a moment to really look at things and keep my insight of life.
That's great. I know that for me, it was after my 4th baby that I felt that same thing, that just like pressure, and I needed something for me. And that was really when I started, and mine was yoga, not meditation specifically, but that same kind of practice. And in fact, when I started my yoga practice, I did a yin style of yoga, which is not what we usually think of yoga. It's not like a workout yoga. It's very, yes, there are poses, but it's very still and it's very meditative because, like you were saying, just that transition, that new added stress in your life, you just felt the need to have something, for you. And that's definitely what I felt too. And it made a difference. So I can definitely attest to the fact that those meditative things can really help to give us that stress release when we need it as moms.
Definitely. And I thought for me with the meditation, it helped me so much that inspired me to start the blog, Help Mama Meditate, because I wanted to share that information and create a community where other moms could learn more about meditation, learn about mindfulness and how to practice it in daily life. And it's been a great creative outlet for me as a mom who stays at home during the week. And it's nice and social because I have a Facebook group with moms and we interact with each other. We do icebreakers. We share some things about what we're doing, ask questions, ask advice from each other. And it has really improved just my day-to-day life because not only do I have my 2 girls with me every day, I also get to interact with all these other moms. So it's been wonderful.
Yeah, that's a great point. That's another huge thing, that connection with other people. So I think we hear a lot about meditation. It's kind of a buzzword. You hear it a lot, but I think it can be hard for people to make the jump from hearing it to actually doing it. So tell us kind of your story with how you got started meditating. What was the catalyst that got you going? I mean, I know you mentioned, when you got serious about it was with your second daughter, but I mean way back when you first started.
10 years ago, when I was in graduate school studying to become a speech pathologist, I was really feeling a lot of pressure, a lot of deadlines. I was working on a thesis. It was just a really tough time in my life trying to figure out where I was going to work. So I decided to start taking Tai Chi. They offered it for free on campus. So between courses, I used to go over to the Shannon Center gym, and they had the Tai Chi classes, and I just fell in love with it. It gave me a chance to just focus on the movements. I felt like I was really just taking a mental break from everything that I had been working on in my graduate school courses. And from there, I just grew very interested in actually just doing the seated practice of meditation and learning how to focus on the breath. And that led to just something that I used when I was stressed out or when I started feeling overwhelmed. And then it was just an on and off thing until finally with my second daughter, then it became a daily practice.
Now, I have a question for you because for me, I love Tai Chi, actually. Tai Chi, Qigong, yoga, all those things I have practiced and I really enjoy. Now, seated meditation is not something that I've done as much. Is there a benefit or, a real difference in doing the seated meditation as opposed to the moving meditation?
For me, seated meditation allows me to truly focus on the breath because I'm not thinking about any body movements at all. So it helps me personally. I know some people actually meditate better while moving, such as in walking meditation or in some types of yoga or Tai Chi, as you had mentioned. But for me, if I'm moving, I start to think about the movements. I start to think about my body sensations, and then I lose focus of the breath. So I like to practice seated meditation so I can focus on the breath and train myself to, work with my monkey mind.
Yeah, okay, that's interesting. This morning, I do yoga every morning and I just come in the office and I do yoga with a YouTube video. And I turned one on and I like to do a different one every time, so I never know what I'm going to get. And the one that I turned on today, for the first about 15, well, probably 10 or 12 minutes, it was seated meditation. And I was struggling with it. I'm like, let's get to the yoga. Let's do this thing. I'm here for some yoga. And it's interesting that we had this scheduled today and I was thinking about that and I wanted to ask you, and, how do you get over that being okay with not doing something? I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, and I'm okay with, in certain aspects, but just to sit there and meditate, like to turn it on, I guess, is the hard part for me. Now I'm meditating. Now I'm going to sit here and not do anything. How do you do that?
It's a practice. Honestly, the more you do it, the more comfortable you become with it. And that, I think, is what has been my biggest thing, is just the repetition of it. Every morning, I just know I get up and I set my timer. I use the Insight Timer app, which is free. And I will just realize that I'm going to be sitting. I'm either going to focus on the breath, or I might do a body scan meditation, or I might do loving kindness meditation. It depends on what I'm feeling that morning. And I set my intention for the day and I meditate, and it just becomes something that I do, just like brushing my teeth or getting ready for the day. It just becomes part of my routine, and I try to keep it fresh so that it's not stale by changing up what type of meditation I choose or choosing a guided meditation on an app.
Okay, I like that. And I think that's a really good point that you bring out, that the more you do it, the more you get comfortable with it, and you're probably able to relax into it. Do you do your meditation in the same place every day?
Yes, it's the
Okay.
same place in my room, and I have a chair because I have pain issues. I do not like to sit on the floor unless I have a nice supported cushion, which I do have a good cushion, but I do the chair is best, because then I don't focus on pain. I'm focusing on the breath.
Okay, that makes sense. And I think that's really cool too because you're training your brain, right? I'm going to sit here in this chair right when I wake up and your mind's like, "Okay, I know what we're doing. Meditate." So, I can see how that process of, you know, continuing to do it would really help you to improve with that monkey mind like you mentioned and to just get in the zone. So, talk to us a little bit about some of the benefits you've seen as you've added this regular meditation practice.
So the benefits, a lot of it is my attention and concentration have really improved, because part of the meditation practice is also practicing mindfulness and focusing on one task at a time. I know as moms, we all like to multitask because there's so much to do in one day. But what I have found is if all the items don't get done on the to-do list, the world doesn't end. And I will now just focus on one task at a time. It is a practice. Sometimes I catch myself multitasking, but I want to be able to just really be in the moment with my daughter if I'm feeding her, or my 2-year-old if I'm playing with her, or even just making the grocery list. I really just want to focus on what I'm doing and nothing else. And I find that that's a benefit of meditation, because as you train yourself to go back to the breath and refocus yourself away from the racing thoughts and the racing mind, it also carries over into daily life. So that has been a great benefit to me, just especially as a mom.
Yeah, of course, that would be a huge benefit as a mom, especially because we're so the opposite most of the time. We're so, multitasking, like you said, and doing so many things. So to be able to be present in the moment is, a gift for us and for our families also.
Exactly. It is such a gift and such a benefit. And I feel like another aspect too is just from the emotional side of meditation is it helps you deal with with reactions to stress in a different way. I notice that I react differently to stressful situations. I don't hold on to anger as much as I used to. I'm able to let things go more and realize that things are impermanent, that things just come and go, just like the breath, and thoughts and feelings pass by like clouds in the sky. You might be feeling down one day, but that's just part of acceptance of, I feel a little down today. And then you just move on and realize tomorrow you might be feeling happier. So I think realizing that things come and go and that they're impermanent really is a helpful benefit of meditation.
Yeah, I'll second that. That was one of the huge things when I started my yoga practice, my, daily yoga practice was that. And that's a big reason why I started it. I mentioned stress, but I've never been a person that's really had a short fuse. And at that time in my life, everything would just, I was just, on the brink of getting mad all the time. And adding in that quiet time and that space in my mind really allowed me to come back. And when the kids were having their moments, because at that point in my life, I had, the youngest was 2 or 3, and then I had uh, four kids, all really close together. Anyway, I can't remember their ages, but they were close and they were little, and it was hard all the time. And yet, having just that one little thing in the morning made it so that later, when things happened, I wasn't angry. So I love that you pointed that out. I think that that is one of the biggest benefits is giving yourself that space and letting yourself, be able to let go of things, to let them float on by. It's just, even the way you say it, it's just peaceful and, lets you know like, I got this. It's good. So with all those benefits to meditation, what are some of the reasons people don't start, some of the challenges with starting or with continuing a meditation practice?
A lot of the obstacles that I hear people telling me that they're facing is they feel they don't have enough time. They feel intimidated by it. They think of meditation as something that needs to be some big Zen inner peace moment, and it just isn't that. I try to tell people that if you have time to scroll through your social media feeds for 20 minutes, you have 5 minutes right there that you could meditate and then look at your feed, but just find that time, add it to something that already is routine, perhaps a morning routine where you can set your intention for the day, or an evening routine where you could reflect and maybe express some gratitude for the day. There's always time. It's just a matter of making it and making that commitment to yourself. So that's one of the obstacles I do here, and I always have an answer for it, because I feel that we all can take 5 minutes out of our however many minutes we have of the waking hours of the day to do something for ourselves.
Yeah. Now, how long are you meditating on a regular basis, and how long do you recommend people do when they're getting started?
Right now, I meditate 10 to 20 minutes at a time, depending on the day. Usually in the morning, I try to aim for at least 10 minutes to feel like I've at least done something. And then in the evening, if I'm lucky, I'll do another 10 to 15 minutes. If it's been a rough day, I will spend a half hour and meditate, and thankfully, thank goodness for my husband, because he will play with the girls while I meditate for a good chunk of time. And that's just that's not very often, but that happens once in a while. And I would say for beginners, start small. Even if you just do 2 minutes, set 2 minutes on your phone and sit and focus on your breath. That's the first step. And then do 2 minutes tomorrow. And then next week, do 5 minutes. Just slowly work your way up. Even if you did 5 minutes a day, I would say that's great for a beginner.
Now, you mentioned earlier that Insight is an Insight Timer app.
Yes, Insight Timer.
Is that a guided meditation app that you're using, or is it just a timer?
They actually offer both, which is great. They have hundreds of guided meditations that are all free to access, and they also have a timer that you can customize. You can customize the settings to how many minutes you want it to be, if you want any bells ringing at the beginning or end, if you want any ambient noise. I'm actually doing an app review, working on an app review right now for my blog. So it's funny that you ask about that, because I've been just thinking about all the features of all these meditation apps that are out there, and I love Insight Timer because it's free all the way. There's no subscriptions. It's the one I use personally. It's my timer because I like hearing those bells at the end. It makes me feel like I'm ready for the day.
Okay, that's cool that you can set that how you want it, and that would be helpful. That's one thing that when I've tried to meditate before, I know I want to peek. How long do I have? How much longer? It's like looking around, and anyway, so that's nice to know. You can just close your eyes and the bell is going to ring. And so that would be nice and kind of get it off your mind. Okay, well, I know that you have something special prepared for us in the form of a guided meditation. So I would love it if you would lead us through. And so for any of my listeners who are driving, of course, you won't be able to do this now. Maybe pause it and come back to it later. If you are at home and in a place where you can stop what you're doing and really listen to and just feel this meditation, I think that you will feel the benefits of it if you take the time to do it. So Jennifer, I will turn it over to you.
Thank you very much. I'm going to lead us in a guided meditation that's called Loving Kindness Meditation. I try to practice this on a weekly basis. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the benefits before we dive in. According to many research studies, they have shown that there have been increase in positive emotions such as joy and contentment, decreased migraines, encouragement of social connections, reduction in bias of others, and a reduction of self-criticism. It really offers an opportunity to reflect on how we are all connected and how all of us want to be happy. Your boss, the driver who cut you off during the evening commute, your neighbor, all of us wish to be happy. So choose a position that works best for you. Have a seat, lie down or kneel. Check your posture. Make sure the crown of the head is lifted, your shoulders are back. Relax your jaw and release any tension that is in your body. Close your eyes and take 2 deep breaths. Inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Place one hand over your heart as you begin this meditation by offering yourself warm wishes. May I be happy. May I be safe. May I be healthy. Now place your hands at your side or rest them on your knees if you're seated, whatever feels more comfortable to you. Picture someone you love, your children, a family member, your spouse, and offer your loved one warm wishes. May you be happy. May you be safe. May you be healthy. Now imagine a good friend, perhaps a friend who is in need, or even a friend who is doing quite well. Offer your friend warm wishes. May you be happy. May you be safe. May you be healthy. Imagine a neutral person, someone that you have no positive or negative feelings about. Perhaps a cashier at a local shop, someone you passed on the street today, or a neighbor you don't know very well. May you be happy. May you be safe. May you be healthy. Imagine a difficult person, someone who stirs negative feelings, or someone who is rude or gets to you. You aren't condoning their behavior. You're simply offering them well wishes. May you be happy. May you be safe. May you be healthy. If it's too difficult to offer that person loving kindness, that's okay. Offer it to yourself instead. Finally, I want you to imagine every human being in your city, your country, and the entire world. Send loving kindness to everyone in the world. May you be happy. May you be safe. May you be healthy. Take a moment. Feel the warmth of loving kindness that you have offered to yourself and to the entire world. Someone may be wishing you well right now. Thank you for meditating with me today.
Okay. Feels so good. It's amazing the power of the mind and how you can just feel that shift. A lot of times at the end of yoga, I'll say to my class when I'm teaching, take a moment and just feel that energy shift. And a lot of times for me, I think it has to do with the poses and things, but clearly it has as much to do with the breath and the mind as it does with the poses, because I can feel that same energy shift from this guided meditation that I feel in yoga. You can just feel that difference. So thank you. I love that so much.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure to share it.
Yeah, it's fun. It's just so neat to feel that. So I hope everyone listening was able to participate in that and to just feel what, a brief meditation like that can do for you. But in the little time we have left, I would love for you to just tell us some of your thoughts on why moms in particular need meditation, how they can fit it into their lives, just thoughts on moms and meditation.
Moms really can benefit from meditation. There are so many things that I hear that moms feel burned out. They give so much of themselves, and we forget to take care of ourselves sometimes. So, I think of that expression that you can't pour from an empty cup. You have to be able to give to yourself before you can give to others. And I feel like that a daily meditation practice is the perfect opportunity for some me time and for some self-care. It only takes 5 to 10 minutes a day to really benefit from meditation, and you can meditate anywhere. Even if you're in the waiting room, at a doctor's office, you can meditate. Or if your day's been hectic and you want to just end the day with meditation after you brush your teeth, take 5 minutes and just reflect on the day. It's something that moms need to remind themselves that they're important and people are depending on you. And and you're worth taking some time for yourself. And it's not something to be ashamed of to take some time for yourself. It's something to celebrate all of your wonderful things that you do and the people that depend on you, and you make their lives better. So for all the moms out there, take a little bit of time for yourself and just reflect on your day, or even just set your intention for the day of what's ahead and the exciting things that you have in your life.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. Definitely, definitely. As moms, we need to take that time for ourselves. I have a little follow-up question in something that you said. You said you can even meditate at the doctor's office. Now, obviously, in an ideal situation, like you mentioned earlier with your own meditation practice, the kids are elsewhere and you're in a quiet room. But if for whatever reason that's not possible and you have the kids, or you are out, at the doctor's or wherever you might be, can you have an effective meditation practice with the noise and the kids around you?
I say yes, if you feel experienced and comfortable enough. Because I like to practice actually with my eyes open, and I've written a little bit about this on my blog as an option for meditation, especially as you get more advanced with it. Eyes open meditation really helps you deal with the distractions of life, the auditory, the visual, anything that's going on around you. So for me, I used to meditate. I would go to postnatal physical therapy, and I used to meditate while I was waiting for my physical therapist. And I also would meditate while I was pregnant, waiting, once in a while, waiting to go in. I would just focus on my breathing because I would either be nervous about the appointment or, it was just something that I would do. And especially with my second daughter, when I was waiting to go to physical therapy, I would just sit and have my eyes open and put my hands on my knees, and I would just meditate for a few moments while I was waiting. Because sometimes they would take about 5 minutes just to get me ready for the session. So I feel like it's something that you can take with you wherever you go, just a matter of how comfortable you feel with it. If some people prefer just to be in the privacy of their home, or they don't want anyone else around them, and that's totally fine. I say you do what's best for you.
Definitely. But I love that you have pointed this out, that we don't have to have the ideal circumstances to be able to meditate, because that some people listening might think, well, I'd love to meditate and I'd love it if my husband would take the kids, but that's not happening. And so meditation's not for me. But with this, this idea of we can meditate anywhere, it really opens up the possibilities. And so I love what you've taught us today. I feel like meditation is something we all need more of. We all need more of that quiet and that space in our minds. And so thank you. I think that this is something, it helps make the world better because it helps to make us just a little bit kinder, a little bit more mindful, a little bit more present. So the more that you can spread the word and the more of us that can meditate, I think the better off we'll be. So thank you for the work that you're doing.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. I'm just so happy that I was able to speak with you again and be a part of the podcast, because as I told you before, I love podcasts so much. It's like a dream come true to be doing this. So being able to talk about meditation and be on a podcast at the same time, ideal.
That's awesome. Well, thank you. I appreciate you being on this show. And thank you, everyone, for listening to Moms Who Know. Thank you all so much for listening to this episode and being a part of Moms Who Know. I hope that you enjoyed that as much as I did. I wanted to let you know about some resources on the website. You're going to want to go to momswhoknowpodcast.com and go to free resources. I've recently added a brand new, it's a big list of activities to add to your morning routine. So if morning routine is something that you're working on, you'll want to go there. You'll see a few other resources there as well. So go check it out and we'll see you next week.